Welcome back to Boring Reviews.
Boring land.
Oh, just kidding.
Blasphemer!
Hello,
right. Boring Review Nation!
Kind of pointless.
We know all things.
All right, welcome back to Boring Reviews. Nick here.
Jodi there.
And we have a very special guest join us for this interview today. We have some members from the band Karakoram, and please, gentlemen, let me know if I said that wrong. We got Sherry, lead singer, and we got Zane, one of the lead guitarists, rocks the solos. How are you guys doing?
We're awesome. We're doing good. How about you?
Doing fantastic. We are so excited, so stoked. I got my wife Jodi here. She does the reactions with me. So stoked to have Karakoram with us on our channel. When we reacted to Ye Dunya, if you're living like in a hole somewhere and you haven't heard of Coke Studio or Ye Dunya, you got or Dunya. Sorry, Sherry taught me in the video how to say it. Ye Dunya, right? This world. If you haven't watched this song or heard it, you got to check it out. It's an amazing song, and one of the groups in that song, along with two very talented rappers, was Karakoram. They have an amazing band themselves, and my first question, gentlemen, is how has that song affected your band and affected your career since it got released?
I mean, it has been madness. If I'm understating it. I mean, our social media has blown, and we've been getting so many calls from all over the world. I mean, from everywhere. Even doing this interview is like something that we've never done before. So it's an amazing response, and I think being on a platform like Coke Studio helps artists like us to uh, be that little blip in the map, and uh, be there, and we're getting that traction that we were looking for a long time. So yeah, it has been really overwhelming and amazing.
Totally.
Awesome.
I mean, Coke Studio has been around for like 14, 15 years, and I never thought we'd be doing our style of music on Coke Studio the way we want to do it. It's an honor, and it's like everything has sort of changed after that song.
Yeah, a little background for myself. Obviously, like everyone in the world, I love music, but hard rock is my favorite genre. I grew up with Metallica, started listening to some Disturbed and Godsmack and so many other bands of that genre, Megadeth and whatnot. And you don't get a lot of that on Coke Studio. I love Coke Studio. I love Atifa Salam. I love so many different singers that are on there, but you don't get a lot of rock. And so when you guys were there, I remember because we reacted to things like anyone else. We never listened to it before. Let's react to it. And when I hear Sherry's opening vocals and I see the band there and I see Zane's solo and all this kind of stuff, I'm just like, yes, this is fantastic. I was already tapped in. And it's so great that you guys aren't the only rock band to be on there, but it's so great that you guys are able to represent rock and really rock it on there. How did you? I know Sherry and I think Bilawal, you guys work as on the production team, right? You were on Nescafe, you did Pepsi Battle of the Bands. I'm not sure, Zane, if you work on the production team too.
No.
Okay. You just rock out the awesome solos and wave the hair around.
Headbang when I'm told.
Listen, it's the best hair in the business, I'm telling you. But so for Sherry, how did it seems like you and Zulfi, the producer, have a good relationship. This is me looking from the outside in. How did that career for you morph as a music producer on these YouTube platforms? And then how did you get the call to play on Ye Dunya?
I mean, yeah, for me, I've been with Zulfi for like almost 5 to 6 years now, and I started. I mean, he found me through Nescafe Basement. I mean, I used to live in Karachi here in Pakistan, and Zulfi used to be in Lahore. So I remember he calling me up for this show, and I came here for a few months to do the show, and we clicked so good. I mean, we started to work on other projects as well after Basement. So I took the decision to move here in Lahore, and I've been working here ever since with him. And obviously, Coke was one of the projects that we were always excited about, and we always, because here in Pakistan it's like one of the projects, like it's like the biggest music platform in Pakistan. It's like I would say the biggest music export from Pakistan to the world, and for other audience. So for us to be there, even in that little capacity, was really. I mean, I was excited, and working with Zulfi is obviously has been an amazing experience. Always, he's been like a friend, and even with the song, he gave us this room to experiment. And that's the fun part. I mean, that's the most exciting part of the season, that every song has their own identity. Every song has their own feel, and
Very unique.
even the visuals. So I think this couldn't have been any better for us to be in any season than this one.
For sure.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I still can't remember. Like I can remember. I keep replaying when you did the scream, like in your song. Like it is so controlled.
I mean, I can't. I don't know how you do it,
It
but
is
it's
so controlled and perfect.
gives
Like,
me chills.
how do you do that? How do you like in all of your songs? Your scream is so,
And it's
it's not
different
like,
each
yeah,
time. It's not
yeah.
the same scream. Sometimes it's a low scream, like in Rasta, which, by the way, is my favorite song. We'll get to that later. But she's right. How do you develop that? Where'd that come from? How do you know where to take it?
I never used to sing this way. I mean, this happened in basement. I mean, Nescafe basement, when we were doing a song from our previous band, and there was a song called Kal Nahi, and it had this verse which needed that aggression. And I remember being in the vocal booth and trying different melodies, and this technique just came out, and Zulfi was like, "Wait a second, can you do that again?" And I was like, "Okay, let me try." And I tried and tried. I also didn't know what I was doing, but obviously I was doing it the wrong way when I started it. So but I figured it out that since I'm a tenor singer, meaning I have a higher vocal range, I could easily execute such screams with higher notes. So I started to explore it, and it's been like, I think now 4 years that I've been doing such singing. Even during the COVID period, I took some lessons from this Italian coach named Rob Marconi. He was giving lessons online for vocal distortions. I needed to check that if I'm doing it right or wrong. I need to know that I'm not, damaging my vocal cords.
Yeah.
So I took that lesson as well, and turned out that 80% of what I was doing was okay, wasn't hurting my voice. And obviously, he taught me a few tips and tricks to use my nasal for the screams. That way, I couldn't put all the pressure on my throat. So that was the little thing that made it more improve me more.
That's good to know because I've always wondered. I'm like, that has got to like just kill
Take
your
those
throat.
pipes.
Like, how do you sing after that? But no, that was like my most excited part of the song. I was like, yes.
Well, and when you go through the comment section of I watch all the reactions too, because again, guys, I'm obsessed with that song. I really am. And Sherry's vocals are fantastic, but the entire music arrangement, along with Talha and Ferris, is absolutely phenomenal. Zayn, I gotta ask, was that your first music, like full production music video that you've been on the set for?
No, I've been on a couple. Karakoram has, I mean, our videos aren't as big as that, but I was in another Coke Studio project like last year. So I mean, being a filmmaker as well, I have had my fair share of experiences on set, but like that was like the biggest set that I was on, that I was sort of like a part of in front of the camera, right? So in that regard, it was absolutely mind blowing. Yeah.
And we get, so you post a video on YouTube and you get all these comments, and I personally, people say stay away from the comment section. I love the comment section because I learned so much since we are an international channel, and there's always like BTS stuff in the comments before we watch Magical Journey. And so many people say about how on Coke Studio, it's live, obviously, and they do a few takes, and I'm assuming they choose the best one or pieces of the best ones. So when you're on there and you know that it's live, and here we go, take 2, take 3, Zane, are you like freaking out, nervous that you're going to mess it up? Or are you such a professional? You're like, I got this, man. It's not a big deal at all.
I mean, I wouldn't want to like, क्या कहते हैं, I wouldn't want to like toot out my or our own horn, but like I think we've been in enough situations where we've had to like practice and perform at a certain level, because everyone in the band has also been like a session player and a studio player, and you know, we've played for other big acts live and toured and all of that. So all of that sort of experience sort of helps. And when your own buddies are like producing the show, it kind of also feels like home. That was the weird part about this time, because it was like, oh my god, we're going to go play Coke Studio, but you walk into the studio and you know, all your friends are there and Zulfi Bhai is there, so it felt like home, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
So it was very comfortable. The video director Zishan Pervez and his whole team, everyone was very nice. So it was like super chill.
That's good, because I was curious, like if you know the people, like since you sure you already work kind of with Coke Studio, I was wondering like it's like the pressure on. Do you feel like, oh man, now I've got to like really show up, or they're gonna be like, that's it, you're out of here.
For me, the biggest pressure was like I've been a massive Faris fan, and like recently a Talha Anjum and Young Stunners fan. So just being on the same song as those behemoths, you know, and that part was really freaking me out. Just, you know, sort of
they're like right in front of me.
Yeah.
Like, autograph, please.
Yeah.
They're super cool.
For me, like shifting from that audio production side to, you know, coming and singing, that was something that was a little nerve wracking, because not because of the fact that I had to sing or perform, but because of the fact that my team was there without me, right, in the whole audio production phase. So whenever there was this whatever, you know, little glitch or whatever, like audio isn't working or any, you know, malfunction, I couldn't do anything because I was there, you know, all dressed up with my guitar. I couldn't just go there and fix it. So that was a little scary moment for me, you know, realizing that anything could happen anytime. So yeah, but like Zan said, the atmosphere was so positive, and I think art, you know, needs that positivity to, you know, and creativity needs that kind of environment to work and to be, you know, free to perform your best. If there is any negativity or there's any pressure, it's hard to perform. So for us, we've been blessed to be, you know, have such people along our side throughout, and you know, they give us positive energy and we give them back, so there's this nice atmosphere going on.
If you watch the BTS, it's all smiles.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we've noticed.
We react to those, and it's like, I don't know if it's Zulfa. I don't know if it's just a collection of people that are there, but like everyone's so relaxed.
Yeah.
I want to know, is there like any behind the scenes of him? Like, come on, guys, you guys come on. Like, does Zulfa ever lose his mind? I mean,
he's always like chilling and just like relaxing, and it just seems like such a calm, positive, happy environment. I'm like, man, I want to work there. Like, me too.
Yeah, no,
So, yeah.
he's amazing. I mean, he's probably and he's. It's safe to say that he's the only one here in Pakistan. I mean, not the only one, but one who is the front runner to promote young talent, and he's been, you know, supporting all these new artists. I mean, this has been a record-breaking season for new artists to come. Like the amount of artists, if you know, see, there are a lot of new artists. So for him, it's like, you know, his home ground to, you know, be positive, to spread that good energy around the set. So that has helped all of the artists, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he seems very relaxed. If you have any like, you know, deep dark secrets, you can share those. But I'm just kidding. He also, I was really excited to find out as I was preparing for this interview that he also produced your guys' studio album that just came out. I'm probably going to butcher the name, Ailaan-e-Jeng, But what was that like to have him produce that as well? Because that album, I'm telling you, I don't speak Urdu. Full disclosure, anyone watching this, but I've listened to that album time and time again. And this is not trying to blow smoke up, what, but there's not a bad track in the album. It flows very nicely. You have your hard rock elements, you have your soft rock, you have everything in between. I can tell you I wrote down my favorite songs on there, but it's like half the album all tied for one besides Raasta. That's the king. So what was that experience like recording that album with Zulfi, someone that, Sherry, you specifically are very comfortable with? What was that whole experience like? Because the product was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, um, especially with this album, we were like full on experimental with everything we did. I mean, we used different amps, we used different guitars on every song, and it was like, for us, it was like a little university trip, learning so much in that little period of time. And it was amazing. I mean, for me, it has always been a pleasure working with him, and especially in this album, something that we've worked so hard on.
Yeah.
And getting such amazing feedback from everyone who has listened to it. It's been amazing. I mean, we loved it.
Yeah, you have to understand, Zulfi Bhai is like the rock guitar player for like the new age kids. When I started, I'm 29 now. When I started like playing shows at like when I was 12, I was covering his songs. So just the fact that we were in his studio recording our album, and he's like
Yeah.
sort of asking us, which guitar do you want to play or whatever So all of that was and still is very surreal that we can just call him up and ask him a question or whatever. Like all of it is really surreal. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You've been playing shows since you were 12 years old. You're like putting 12-year-old me to like shame. Like I was reading books.
I wasn't very great.
That's awesome
It's
though.
pretty terrible back then. It's all good.
Hey, you're putting yourself out there. That's good. So I'm going to assume neither one of you are introverts. Are you guys extroverted?
I would
Tough question. I mean, um for us, it has always been, being with people who, give positive vibes. And for me personally, I don't hang out a lot with people. I don't. I'm very focused towards recording. I'm very focused towards making songs. I tend to stay away from you know hanging out late with other guys, or doing all that stuff that you expect from a rock band to do, or other artists to do. I'm a very sober, clean type boy, and I've always
Sad
been
boy
away
vibes.
from those things. But so I don't know what to call it, extrovert, introvert, or whatever. But
He's the
yeah,
sad poet.
that's how I've been operating for the past 4 years. And it's because of the fact that Zulfi Bhai is also like he's the same. He also doesn't hang out or go to these places where you chill and stuff. He's always work focused, and that's what I've learned from him, that you should set your goals and you should just stay focused towards that. That way you can grow faster, other than being distracted from other things. So for me, it's been like that for the past 4 years. And I mean, I've these certain people that I meet with, obviously the band, some friends, and that's about it.
Are you the same?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm pretty much the same. Sherry's the quiet one. Bilawal is the most extroverted, loud person you will meet
Yeah.
ever. I think I lie somewhere
like,
in the
yeah.
middle over there. Yeah, I'm
Somewhere in
somewhere in
between.
the middle. Yeah, somewhere in
Okay.
between.
If Bill Wall was here with us, I mean, he's a large man. He's very tall. I see the
Yeah.
pictures and I'm like, holy cow! Like, if I was like in a public place and he was behind me and he like hit me with something and I was angry and I turned around and I saw him, I'd say, "Oh, never mind, my bad." I mean, he's very large in stature, right?
He is.
But
He definitely
from
is.
what you say, it sounds like he's got a great personality as well. What's it
Lame
like to have
jokes
someone
galore.
that's like that in the band?
I think everyone sort of balances the other person out. Like, like we have all sorts of creatures in this band. Umair, you have to meet Umair to know Umair. Anan is our spoiled. He's the youngest, so we spoiled. He's a little spoiled, you can say. Man has to be.
Speaking of which,
Oh,
Hello.
Anan, I have
Sorry.
to apologize. I had it in full screen. I just shrunk it and I saw you there, so if you can wait for a while, I apologize.
Sorry,
Welcome
I was
to
driving,
our
guys.
interview.
That's why I'm late. Hello.
Oh,
How are
wow.
you? Hey.
Look who decided to show up. I was just saying,
Yeah.
Anan, that I was describing the band members. So,
Okay.
Sherry is the sad, shy poet.
Okay.
Lawal is the guy with the lame jokes and is very loud.
Yeah.
I'm somewhere in the middle, or you could maybe describe me. And you are the youngest, hence the most spoiled and never on time.
Spoiled.
I'm going to get a
And
earful.
Mr. Zan is the beast. Taste of the wild. He's our taste of the
Wild.
Taste of the wild.
Hagrid is what they call me.
Yeah.
Anan,
He is
welcome to
our-
Boring Reviews. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. Sorry you had to wait there for a second.
Thank
We've
you
been
for
talking
having
about.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. We've been talking about a lot of different things about your band, about the album, and I know that just from a little bit of research that Sherry and the other two guys first were in Overdose, right? The band Overdose, and then that one didn't work out too well. But you guys were together for a while, it seemed, and then 2017 you formed this band. So Anan, when you joined the band, what was that experience like? Like, what was your expectations for what was going to happen with this band? Was it just to have fun and play some music? Did you feel like we're going to be #1 in the world, baby? Like, what was your expectations there?
Well, when I joined the band, I know guys for I know them for a very long time. Right? So when I joined the band, it was like very crazy experience. We had this mutual understanding that we're gonna do something. We jammed like when I had my first jam with boys.
Taking a walk.
Where is he going?
Bro?
Hey, set change. He needs a different environment.
Vibe change.
Vibe change, yeah. So yeah, the understanding was great. Yeah, why you guys are laughing?
Because you're moving around.
sorry. Well, so yeah, it was a very, the understanding matters a lot. Then मेरा camera सही है यार वैसे?
Yeah.
Now you're centered, bro.
हाँ,
Yeah, you're saying you're good.
Center मैंने bounce right up. Yeah, sorry for the disturbance. Sorry.
No, so yeah, when Anan was, there was a show that we had to, perform in, and I guess the album was out, right?
Yeah.
Album?
No.
No,
It was
the album
before
wasn't
the
out,
album.
and we had a few songs, and we realized that we cannot, just pull a show off with two guitars. We needed an extra guitar player because if you listen to our songs, in depth, there are like a lot of guitar layering going on in each song, and there's this orchestral arrangement in all of our songs. That's, I think, what is our signature style of arrangement. So we needed a third guitar player badly, and I remember we knew Anan before because even I used to play sessions before we, went with Karakoram, and Bilawal also used to play sessions. And there were these multiple occasions where we used to meet on concerts. I mean, Anan used to play for someone else, I used to play for someone else. So there was this mutual, as we say here in Pakistan, hi hello. But when he joined in, obviously for him it was. I mean, we clicked instantly after that show. We knew that we have to, get him on board because he has this amazing soloist type, personality, and he adds a lot to that side in the band. And me and Zan, we aren't that, solo oriented people. We're like more like rhythm based, riff based. We
Yeah.
have the such playing. So for Anan to add that element in the band, helped the album to carve out even more towards
Yeah.
the rock side, and to make it sound more cohesive.
The first time I met Anand, I got hired for a gig, and I was told that the other guitar player is some 15-year-old kid. And I was like 22 at the time, and I was like, this is gonna be some weird, scenario. I'm gonna be playing with some 15-year-old kid, man, shit. And I show up and I hear like some Santana solo coming from this room,
Oh,
and I enter,
nice.
and this kid is just like shredding. Now man, then kid was absolutely slaying. So when we decided to get Anand on board, I was secretly just very happy that I get to do less work now.
that's now, Adnan, I'm not sure if you're listening to this, but what they're saying is they can't go without you, my friend. All right, so that gives you a little bit of power right there.
Yeah.
So we were talking a little bit about Coke Studio, talking about Ye Dunya, and I'm going to keep bringing it in because I love this song so much. What was that experience like for you, Adnan, recording that, being there, and playing on that song?
Coke Studio in Pakistan for say, like musicians, ordinary musician. Coke Studio is a dream come true, right? And as a band, when we got in Karakoram, it was like a magical experience. We have, I mean, like it was a whole process of the song. We had jams, we had we did video for it. The whole through the whole journey, it was magical. It was great,
Yeah.
and I can't even like share. I don't have words actually. So it was a very great experience for all of us, for all of the band members. A different
And
experience. We have to we we sort of discovered our different sound actually. What we can do with various stuff, various sounds. So yeah.
so for the whole band, and we can do Anon and then Zane and then Sherry, who or what are your inspirations for your music?
So my inspiration from day one is my father. He brought me into this music field, but then I got into rock metal stuff. So my inspiration in music is Slash, John Petrucci, Guthrie Govan, and the most special one is Mark Tremonti. I admire him the most. Yeah.
You got to be pretty stoked that John's back with the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh yes.
He's back. He's been in and out, but that's one of my favorite bands, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I can talk about them forever. And he, with him and the other members of the band, it's amazing. And I think they're recording an album right now, which I'm super excited about. All right, Zane, what about you? Who are your musical inspirations?
I mean, it always changes. It started with James Hetfield and Metallica and all those guys, and
Yes.
moved on to people like Tosin Abasi and Nisha Mansoor, and bands like Animals Leaders, and it's always changing. Whatever I'm listening to is inspiring me, and it's always, I think, shifting. But it started, I would say, probably with Linkin Park and Metallica. Yeah,
I love Linkin Park.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
We-
for me, like the biggest inspiration it has been Linkin Park. I mean, I remember buying this DVD here in Karachi, live in Texas, the concert that came out, and that just, I mean, blew me away. I mean, I was like, what is happening? I mean, where on earth are we? I mean, what is this place? I have to go there. And seeing uh, Chester, the way he used to sing and the aggression, and I mean, it just linked. It clicked me. I mean, it was something that inspired me so much that even to this day, I listen to Linkin Park songs. I mean, I've been, because of that production side, I have to listen to all kinds of music. I have to listen whatever is happening right now. But I always go back to Linkin Park because I think they were way ahead of their time. The way they introduced, with the way they changed the genres and the way they experimented, it was amazing. I mean, I've never seen a band evolved so quickly, evolved so maturely in terms of music, and they were amazing. I mean, if there's one band for me, it would be Linkin Park.
I love that.
I'm so happy to hear you guys say that, because Linkin Park is honestly one of my favorites of all time. I remember being a 17-year-old kid listening or seeing the music video for One Step Closer on MTV. And I didn't have any money at the time, but I told my mom, please, I need $10 so I can buy that CD. And I get everyone's a huge Linkin Park fan. I get that. But from day one, and I saw your guys' cover
We
for
saw
One
it.
Step Closer. That live
We
cover.
watched it.
You guys did a fantastic job on that.
Thanks, man.
We watched
Yeah,
it.
that's
Okay.
like our last song. Whenever we feel like, all right, do we have one song left, or are we short of one song? Then that's our go-to song. We don't need to rehearse. We don't need to do anything. We just play it.
And I love
that.
your shut up part of it, because I remember playing that song for my parents, and my dad's like, why does he keep saying shut up? Turn this off. Right? He couldn't handle it. But you take a different route with it. You kind of go a little slower, shut up, and you last it for, I don't know, probably 30 seconds. What was the motivation behind that, or does it change each time?
It was just catching my breath, to be honest. I mean, I couldn't do it live. It was so hard. I mean, it's the toughest song to nail. So I remember, because since it's always our last song, I mean, I'm destroyed by that time. I mean, for me, it's like, all right, I need a bed. So be one step closer, being the last song, it's always scary for me. And that's the only song in our list in which I just put my guitar aside and I just have to sing. So I, I I I I remember Chester doing that in one show. I'm not sure. I guess that's where the idea came in, that it would start with a whisper type sound and then go into that scream. But it helped in catching my breath, to be honest.
I love that. And I love that honesty, because you see these bands play. And I always wonder that. I'm like, how do you move all around the stage and you play and you sing and you do all this? Like, it has got to be exhausting. It's got to be tiring.
I've always wondered how you remember all the words, even for your songs. Like, how do you, for me, I would forget half the words. I just know myself.
No, it happens. I mean, I remember when we played One Step Closer here in Islamabad, there was this festival called Koblampi Music Festival, and I forgot the verses. I repeated the verses. I mean, sang both the verses same. So yeah, it happens, and it's all part of what we do. So it's all right. I think the best learning is not to panic. It's like, all right, make fun of it afterwards. Hey, I screwed up or whatever. But that's the idea of whenever we do something wrong on stage, we don't beat ourselves to it. We're like, all right, it happened. It happens. I mean, it's a live show. What do you expect?
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you guys sometimes mess up on the guitar too, and like throw each other off and be like, oops, sorry about that, man, just kidding?
Definitely.
Yeah, it happens all the time. It happens.
Yeah,
all,
it happens
I mean,
all the
Happens
time.
all
the
the
funniest part is when we perform somewhere and when we, are lucky to get multi tracks from that performance. Whenever we, import those audio files, I mean, there are so funny moments in there. I mean, since I'm the one who produced our live performances, I'm having a good time, listening to these mistakes that these boys make, and I sometimes, render those little mistakes and send them and see what you did. Everyone is like, oh,
Like, thanks, sorry about that.
yeah.
What about you, Anon? A lot of mistakes, a little bit of mistakes, and how do you deal with it?
Yeah, do like a little bit of mistakes, like in every show almost. That's the nature of live. When you are playing live, you make mistakes, and it's all right. We covered it up. We are crazy on stage. We go crazy on stage. We don't like. We're just focusing like how the crowd is engaging to us, right? So we are just crazy on stage. We don't deal with like little mistakes. It's all right. It just goes.
I love it. We're teachers, so I don't know about you. I make mistakes all day long. And my students call me out on it. Like, we were reading this book and it was talking about magic, which is supposed to be Magic Johnson, the basketball player, but I accidentally
Basketball
said Magic Mike, which apparently is a movie, and that was not the thing to say to middle schoolers because they have not let me live that down.
A
Like,
movie about male strippers.
yep. They're like, Mrs. Peterson, have you
Nice.
watched Magic Mike yet? I was like, oh my gosh, please stop, please stop. So yeah.
So before she's got the rapid fire questions,
I'm
she's
ready.
like, we gotta let these guys go. But
Yeah, you guys need to go to sleep.
I've got to ask about Rasta because honestly, and I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let me know if I'm not. That has been my go-to song for the last few weeks. That and Ye Dunya, I'm not lying. Every morning I'm listening to those songs, and I've done the Google Translate for Rasta. I'm trying to figure out what the words are, but it just, for me, it's such an amazing track. And I was reading this review of someone that did a little profile on your guys' band, and he or she also mentioned that was their favorite track. So you got to speak to me. All of you at different times, but tell me, what is the soul of that song? Where did that song come from, and where does it take you when you're performing it? Because it's such a beautiful song all around.
I mean, there are a few songs that, whenever we perform, I mean, personally for me, I mean, I couldn't handle myself. There are a lot of songs where I, break, there's like tears going on. And Rasta is one of those songs. Alvida and Rasta are the songs where, I cannot control myself. And when it happens, I just lose it. So I remember Rasta being an idea that happened even before Tufan, our first single. And there was this guitar effect that I was playing around, and it turned into this violin type sounding tone, which like it was like swelling, like "Wah, wah," and I was like, I mean, this can be a song. And I remember being at Bilaval's place, and I was like, I have to record this. And I just turned his computer on and plugged my guitar in, and I just played those parts, the intro, and that song stayed there for a while. I mean, we didn't got back to it. We were into more stuff. We went to projects. We started playing live, and that song was, we didn't focused on that. We didn't go back. But I remember when Tufan came out, it was like, it was amazing. The response was so great, and we were like, we have to release a second song. And I then I suddenly remembered that we have the song, we have to write it. And I just went back to my place and with my acoustic guitar. And one thing that we do normally with our process is, we come up with melodies first, and then we write according to what's the music and the melody is speaking to us. That has been our go-to approach towards writing our songs. Even Ye Dunya, even Tufan, all of them are melody-driven songs. We wrote them afterwards. So Rasta was one of that song which had the melody, had the hook, had everything, but didn't have any words. So, but it has this longing feel. It has this traveling feel. Whenever we listen to it, it's like we're like going somewhere. So Rasta means pathway
Okay.
in English. So that was the idea. We were like, this has to be something that help people to find their pathway. And everyone has their own journey. Everyone has their own way, and sometimes for people it's tough to find their way. And Rasta is all about that. And towards the end, it's a dark song, but towards the end, it gets positive. Saying the last lines, meaning Rasta Jeene ka, it means finding a pathway of living, and that's the whole crux of the song.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, gentlemen. What about you? Because everything in that song, the way you guys play it, is just phenomenal. What is it? Where does it take you? How do you feel when you're playing that song?
I mean, for me, I'm how do I put this? I'm not like a big lyric guy. I like, my anchor is like very musical bits. So for me, I really look forward to Bilaval's beat. just the way he's constructed that groove is, and like the staccato muted thing that I play over it, I think I just wait all set to sort of just chill out and, you know, lock with Bilawal and just
Yeah,
enjoy that groove that he's
funny
playing.
story about the beat. I just
Yeah,
remembered. I remember when I was demoing this guitar part. Bilawal has his kit, you know, all mic'd up, but we didn't have mic that day, and it wasn't mic'd. So I remember we were like, all right, let's record it on our phone, and we'll figure out afterwards what to, you know, do with it. And I remember him putting his iPhone on this kick drum and then playing the whole beat, and that ended up being in the song. That's the majority part of the beat. The starting beat, it's basically recorded on an iPhone, and we later on, you know, tweaked it a bit, filtered it, you know, making it sounding more garage type, more filtered beat type feel. But uh, that stayed there, and that's the fun part of, you know, coming up with ideas in a band, that everyone can come up with anything at any time. So that was a fun story for us, you know, having that beat in that song.
for sure.
That's awesome.
What about you, Anon? How do you? Where does that song take you when you're playing it?
Well, for Rasta, I guess I can relate Rasta's lyrics with my life. Rasta jeene ka, you follow your pathway. Everyone has its own pathway. You should follow it, and yeah, like the lyrics for the song is very close to me.
I'm a lyric person too. And so I really like the melody of it, but we don't have like the exact lyric translation. So I'm like, oh.
And I'm like you, Zane. I'm
Same
more
here.
of a music guy. I can listen to a song 100 times, and then the 101st time I'd be like, oh, that's what it's saying.
See, and I
Same.
listen to the lyrics right away. That's the
Same.
first thing I listen to.
And it hooks me. Just the music hooks me right away. But all right, so just so you guys, in case you're curious, some of my favorite songs on that album: Tufan, obviously you mentioned that, Rukja, Bekhudi, Kalnahi. Those are some phenomenal songs, and they're peppered throughout the album with other great compilation songs. The title track is a fantastic song as well. Such a great album. Congratulations with that. But we got some rapid fire questions, just some quick questions. And we'll just do, like, on the screen, here we go, Zane, Sherry, and then Anon, just to answer these quick questions. You guys good with that?
Let's do it.
Okay. I want to ask this one, and if you guys don't want to answer, that's totally fine. But what is your cringiest moment as a teenager?
Playing an untuned guitar on stage.
Oh, yeah.
For me, having that emo style haircut and moving around like as if it's like all cool. But and now that I visit back and look at those pictures, I'm like, why didn't I kill myself?
We're so glad you didn't.
Anand.
Rapid fire, brother.
Yeah, playing guitar with a broken string on live show.
Oh.
Man, that sounds pretty like you pulled it off, man. Like that sounds pretty dope.
That might have been the time that he heard you playing the Santana. Like, man, this guy's really good. Just imagine what I can do with 6-hole strings.
Yeah.
But
Well, I have to like say, like, the emo, it's okay, because I was emo too. Like, I did the sewing of the pants before, like they were like the skinny jeans and, you know, the pink hair and the eyeliner. Yeah, my students make fun of me for it all the time. They're like, Mrs. Peterson, were you emo? I was like, yes, I was.
I even remember having a fake piercing here. After watching that, I couldn't do it, so I was like, I should just, you know, put a ring here.
I love it. I wanted to get snake bites, and my mother said absolutely not. But I really wanted to. So if I would have known about that, I would have probably bought the fake rings too. That's hilarious. All right. Your turn.
So I have become a huge fan of cricket the last few years because of Boring Reviews, and I have another channel called Cricket for Americans. Obsessed with cricket. Are you guys cricket fans? Yes or no?
No.
Not much.
Not much.
Oh man.
Sorry, Joe.
Now, I'm not sure if you know this, but PSL 7 just ended and Lahore won the entire title. You guys are aware of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I chose that team. I'm not sure why. A few years ago, it was the team I was going to support from the PSL,
You
so
did?
I was excited about that. I
If
did.
there's
Yes.
a team you're gonna support, it's Lahore, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they finally got their first title, which I'm excited about. They had a really exciting match against Islamabad, where you guys just recently played in the semifinals. So if you're a Lahore fan, hopefully you kind of stuck it to them a little bit. But anyways, Zayn, you mentioned filmmaking. Are you a huge movie buff?
I wouldn't say I'm like a big movie buff. I make like music videos, but yeah, I like movies and TV shows.
What's your favorite movie?
favorite movie? Either Fight Club or Seven.
Ooh, just saw the Batman yesterday, and that's got some Seven vibes to it. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Nice. Sherry, what about you? Favorite movie?
If I have to name one, it would be Interstellar. Interstellar is one of my
Nice.
favorite
Christopher
movies.
Nolan.
For me, it's all of the Marvel collection. I'm a Marvel fan. Yeah.
Those are fantastic movies. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm more of a DC fan, but I absolutely love the MCU. It's absolutely fantastic. All right.
Okay. Let's see. Who's the funniest person in the band?
Bilawal.
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 Who's the messiest person in the band?
Bilawal. And Umar.
Zan. Mr.
Really?
Oh, drive by.
No. I mean, I've lived with both of them, Bilawal and Umar. It's safe to say that both of them are like neck to neck. They're like,
They're competitive. They're competing
Yeah.
back and forth.
Good to know.
All right. Let me see. She stole some of my questions.
Sorry.
Salty or sweet as far as snacks go?
salty.
Salty.
Depends. Really depends.
Nice.
All right. Describe yourself in one word.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I would say patient.
Impatient.
Shy, maybe. Yeah. Shy. I'm a bit shy.
I love it, especially for being in a band. That like a lot of you guys kind of talk about being more like introverted, not in the sense of like just in the sense of staying at home, right? Like not being out there and partying and being shy. Like I love that because you just think of bands as just being, I don't know.
I think of just like all that, not really angst is the right word, but all that artistry, all those messages you want to share, but you want to share it in your medium through music as opposed to like being the life of the party. Not to say musicians can't be the life of the party, but
We
I don't know, I
don't
can
party
kinda
a
see
lot.
that.
We just like having nice food at the end of the night and just cracking.
Yeah, I
lame
think
jokes.
music. It's the beauty of music. It is the outlet, of your emotions. So for me, even remember today. I mean, I was sitting in the studio, and there were these two friends, office friends, who were there, and they were discussing about some. They were like angry on someone, and they were talking about him, and they were like, and they looked at me and they were like, how come are you so patient? I mean, why don't I haven't seen you angry anytime. I mean, why don't you get angry? And I was like, the first thing that came into my mind, I was like, I take it out on my songs. I mean, the screams and
The
stuff.
scream.
Like, that's my outlet.
Yeah, the screams
I love
tell it all.
Yeah.
You're like, here's all my frustration right now
Yeah,
in the
there.
screen. I love that.
Just listen to Tufan, you'll hear it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, so we got two more for you, and I just lost. Okay, if you weren't in music, what would you be doing career-wise?
Maybe I would have been an artist, someone, but I would have been bad at it. I mean, I'm not sure what I would have been doing. I mean,
Like drawing?
honestly, I have no idea.
Drawing or painting, that kind of artist?
Yeah, maybe, but
I guess I would have been a footballer, a soccer player. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
footballer
don't
or
know.
football?
Football. I won't
Yeah.
be a football.
Football.
Here on Born Reviews, we do know the difference. Most Americans don't. They think of football as far as the NFL, but I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, soccer ball.
Yeah. What about you, Zane? What would you be doing?
I have no idea, honestly.
It's like I haven't thought about it.
everything else.
Well, I guess
Filmmaker,
you
right?
are
For
doing
you,
your
it
second
must
thing.
have
You
been
are a
filmmaking.
filmmaker. Yeah, you are
Man,
doing
that
film.
also happened because of the music. I just bought a
Yeah.
camera because I wanted to make my videos, and then other people wanted videos. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. It wasn't the plan at all.
I love that though. That's awesome. But it's not, I mean, I guess you just develop your talent. So even if you suck at it, it's okay. You just keep going until you get better.
Make it till you
Yeah.
make it.
That's right. You got a last one for him?
Let's see. What never fails to make you laugh? What is one thing that will always make you laugh?
My bandmates.
Umair bhai's
Yeah,
face.
specifically
Umair's
Umair.
face.
Umair would
Umair's
never.
face.
He never seems to amaze us. He never seems to make us laugh. He
I'm
always
already
makes us
laughing.
laugh.
Yeah, we
Because
already
he's the
laughed.
one guy in the band.
And he doesn't have to do much. It's not like he's cracking
Yeah.
jokes or doing anything. He just is like that.
Oh man, we're gonna have to have like in a year later, like another interview number 2, and bring him on so we can meet him and just like see how much
For
you guys
sure.
have grown and like where you're at now. You're all gonna be like, yeah, we just played a show in London, and we're off to Paris next
Oh.
week.
They'll
We
be in their
wish.
mansions. They'll have the sunglasses, like the scarves on, and be like, Nick, did you ask me a question? I'm trying to do something here.
Yeah, 5 minutes of my time. That's it.
But we appreciate all the time. It's been almost an hour here. You guys have been so
Yes,
gracious.
thank you.
And truly love the music. Can't wait to see what you guys do next, whether it's Coke Studio or more importantly with your band. But let us know, let everyone know how we can follow you, where they can see you next, what upcoming shows you got going on in the future.
So yeah, no, thank you for having us. I mean, it has been wonderful. I mean, we had a blast. I mean, it was fun. It was so good.
You're welcome.
And for people who want to follow us, we're like everywhere. I mean, for nowadays, every band has to have these social medias. With Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So we're pretty much on every platform. And
Yeah.
follow us there.
If you're
That would be it. And we are playing a couple of shows in March here in Karachi. There are like few shows, and we're excited for it. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, last question. So sorry. Who's the one that responds like on your social media? Who's the one that
Who's
comments?
in charge? Who's in charge of doing your social
Probably
media?
Bilawal.
Bilawal is
Okay.
in charge.
I also do it. I mean, they're like.
It depends.
It depends. It
Depends.
depends.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes I do it, sometimes Bilawal, but I think majority of the responses are Bilawal's.
Okay. Just so we're aware of like who we're talking to.
For sure.
It could be anyone.
That's awesome. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for spending time with us. We really appreciated it.
And honestly, as a
Thank you
hard
for
rock
having
fan,
us.
you guys are killing it. So
Yeah.
keep it up.
You
Keep
guys
doing
are
it.
Thank
awesome.
you so much, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.